So, Charlotte, have I ever told you about one of the scariest things that ever happened to me? There was an escaped. It involved an escaped convict and being home alone.
No, I don't think so.
It was right after. I just remembered. It was right after we filmed. It was the same weekend we filmed the Charlotte Ferris Show season 6. Like we did a bunch of the scenes in one weekend with Valerie and Chester and all of us together. It was that same weekend, I'm pretty sure, because my parents were out of town. I was home alone, and I got this text from the local police. Somehow we were on their notification list that an escaped convict had been. He had gotten out of the police car and run into the woods. And what do you know? The last time he had been sighted was on the street, one street over from ours.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was a little freaked out. So I went around, made sure all the doors were locked. I had probably already done that anyway because it was getting dark. And I was sitting watching Seinfeld. And Tom, the cat Tom, our orange cat that has been in some of the videos, he was sitting on the floor, and I was watching him, and his ears started twitching like furiously. I'd never seen anything like it. And then there was this huge crash from the basement. And so obviously I was really freaked out because, like, oh my gosh, there's a convict in our neighborhood.
That's where my mind would have gone.
Yeah. So I thought, well, what should I do? Should I call the police? And in retrospect, I probably should have. There was, enough cause that I probably should have called the police. But I decided, it probably was just something that fell. We had a lot of, pots, extra pots and pans on the shelves down there. So I figured it was just something like that.
Oh my gosh. Timing's everything.
Yeah. But I was freaked out that night. I think I slept with a kitchen knife next to my bed with the door locked, and I put a chair in front of the basement door in case they broke through the lock. And
oh my gosh!
And then the next day, what would you have done?
I would have been sick with worry. I was just saying. So wow. The next day.
The next day, I went down in the basement to see if there's any sign of anything amiss, and I could not find anything that looked like it had fallen. But I also didn't find any doors broken in or anything, so I don't think anyone was down there.
That's so.
Although it is weird that I couldn't. There wasn't any pot laying on the floor or anything that had fallen off a shelf. I don't know. That definitely ruined the rest of that night, though. I wasn't going to watch the rest of that episode of Seinfeld.
No. Wow. No, that's so creepy. I'm really glad it was not that, though. I'm glad it was not the convict. As far as you know.
Have you ever been that scared?
Yeah, different sort of thing, but I there was one night in college on campus. We were it was like a Friday night, so we were sort of hanging out. My then boyfriend, now husband, was visiting, and we had a pizza in the oven and stuff, just very, very chill. And one of my roommates comes downstairs and says, "Okay, guys, I just got a text alert. There's an active shooter on campus."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and so we all need to hide.
Yeah.
They didn't know where the person was or what the intent was. It was a little bit freaky. We basically all of my or not roommates, my suite mates gathered in the center stairwell of our house, and we just turned off all the lights and just didn't talk for 2 hours. Just focused on our phones trying to get more news about about what was going on, because naturally the campus feeds were blowing up about what's happening.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a worry that it might be sort of a politically motivated thing, and so we just weren't sure how random it would be, and yeah, but eventually the all clear went up. They found the guy, and it turns out it was more substance related,
okay.
as in deal that went bad.
Yeah.
which was not like still scary, but a little more, maybe a little less scary than like somebody just sort of looking for violence willy-nilly.
Right.
But that was probably, it was like 3 hours of just like barely
wow.
breathing. Like, I don't, we have no idea where this person is. Like, that was probably one of the scarier moments I've experienced.
Yeah, I can imagine that, and it was nighttime because you said you had the lights off, so that gives it a little extra scariness as well.
And the pizza was ruined, most importantly.
I'll bet. It's a good thing it didn't start a fire if it was left in there.
I think somebody snuck down and like turned off the oven.
So much for that pizza party.
Yep.
Well,
not that any of us felt like eating afterwards.
Just real quick, it reminds me of we had like a lockdown drill at where I teach. And not a real issue. We have to have a drill every semester. Okay. But then afterwards, some of the elementary schoolers would come into my room for a club after school. And I overheard like the third graders talking. They thought it was real, apparently. And they were like, I heard him scratching on the wall. He was just outside of our door. And I was like, I don't know what he was hearing.
Oh
but
my
he apparently thought that the bad guys were scratching at their door.
No! That's so... Oh! They must have been so scared.
They didn't seem that scared, so I don't know. Anyway,
don't know consequences.
Speaking of scary things, today we're going to be looking at one of the scariest things that ever happened to the fictional Charlotte Ferris in the season 2, Charlotte Ferris Show season 2, 4th episode, I've Been Robbed, which was filmed in September 2010. This is Scene by Scene. I'm Mark Gross.
And I'm Charlotte Ferris.
And we're looking forward to getting into another early Charlotte Ferris Show episode in this season of Scene by Scene. So, credits play for Season 2. We've updated the first shot. Charlotte is no longer holding the box for moving in. Now we see her just kind of smiling at the camera, looking a little more confident. This is the season when she is going to school for photography.
Oh, yes.
And we see Waldberg for the first time, which was a little village close to where we lived. There was it was like a little mining town from it's really old, like from the 1800s or so.
Yeah.
Really old by American standards. Doesn't mean much to someone in Europe, but so that was Waldberg, little village. Mm-hmm. And we also see Charlotte come in with her school bag. It looked like you had your real life school chorus folder.
Probably.
You lay on the table and you sit down, and I think Chester the cat is sitting there on the sofa watching you too.
Chester, man. Good cat.
He was a fixture of the show as well.
Yeah. He always wanted to be on screen. On camera.
So, episode opens with John knocking, and Charlotte mumbling a muffled "come in" off screen. John enters and looks around for Charlotte, hears her knocking at the closet door, which actually goes to your basement, but in the show it was just the closet, and lets her out. And she is tied up with a TV cable and has a scarf over her mouth. And she's motioning to John. John doesn't know what she's saying, and she motions to the pad and pencil. She writes down "untie me," and John reads it and says, "Oh, good idea." So he unties her. Charlotte says that was so scary and explains how she was taking a nap after reading a book, and someone broke in with a mask and threw her in the closet. John wants to know what this guy wanted, and Charlotte realizes her TV and computer are gone. And John says, "Oh, that's a shame, but don't change the subject. We need to figure out what this guy was looking for." And he proposes it might have been arson, but that doesn't make any sense. Charlotte says, "We already know what the criminal was," and they jointly shout, "A robber." And Charlotte congratulates John for figuring it out. This, I think, is one of the funniest, definitely from the early seasons.
Yeah.
But even among the whole series, I think this episode really stands out.
Agreed. It's a good one.
Funny exchange here, and
and a good setup.
So Charlotte... go ahead.
Sorry. I do laugh at the whole like restraint situation because it's all like barely like laid across like it's just really
well, our makeup and props department was a little bit low budget at this time.
Yeah, they were.
So Charlotte resolves she's going to file an insurance claim, and a few days later...
Also, what do I was... When I say I'm going to file an insurance claim, what do I start writing down?
That's a good question. I guess you're filing the claim.
I guess I have to mail it.
So here, this was 2010. We were, I was, gosh. Could I have been, no. Could I have been 18, really? Is that right? Am I doing the math right?
Wait.
I must have been 17 or 18.
15. Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Gosh, I look so young.
It makes sense that 18-year-olds look like babies now.
I guess so, yeah. But
I guess we did too.
So what I was going to say was like, our 15-year-old selves didn't know anything about insurance, but at 18 I was driving a car, and I didn't have a car yet, but like, had at least a little bit of a foray into insurance at that point, I would have thought, but...
Still. It's fine. It was probably just do a thing, react.
Maybe she was just writing on her to-do list, don't forget to file an insurance claim. There we go. We figured it out.
Yes.
So anyway, a few days later, John comes into the living room. Charlotte explains she got most of her stuff back. The insurance company took care of it. She's still waiting for her TV, and it should be coming today. But she might have to sign for it, and she has to go to class this afternoon. So John offers to sign for the TV. Charlotte heads out. John looks around and walks off. So just a little interlude scene there. No real jokes.
Yeah.
Happy music plays. There is a knock at the door, and John wakes up with a book over his face.
Everybody falls asleep reading here.
Yes. This episode, that seems to be a theme.
Yeah.
Maybe we...
Don't read.
Right.
Things will happen.
Maybe we had too much homework on the brain.
Maybe.
I guess I was a senior in high school this year that we filmed this.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And you must have been a freshman then.
Yep, that makes sense.
Because you and Pat and I were all in high school together one year.
Yep.
And that year, I came to all of the football games to watch, because Pete was in drumline and you played the tuba.
Oh my gosh.
And I had fun doing that year.
Did you? Okay.
Our football
You're a good
team...
sport.
I was so disappointing. Our football team was almost undefeating that season.
Sorry. Took me a second.
Yeah, we lost every game except for the last one.
Yeah, we really...
And I could have told everyone that my football team was undefeating. And if they didn't think about it too much, it would have sounded really impressive.
Yeah, but now we gotta clarify. We couldn't even be good at not defeating.
So, John goes to the door and comes in with the TV, remarks that he didn't have to sign for it after all, and promptly drops it. He looks into the box, says, uh-oh, it's even worse than I thought, and we know the TV is broken. Now, when my dad saw this, he really liked this episode, but he said, I should have had John shake the box and dubbed in a sound of, broken glass.
Crinkling.
That would have been good.
Yeah, not crinkling. That would have been great.
If I ever go back and re-edit the Charlotte Ferris show, I'll have to do that, but I don't know if I will.
Oh man, that would be interesting.
One thing I'm really hoping for, and it probably will happen, but I'm really looking forward to AI upscaling of all of our standard definition. We were filming in like MPEG 2, which today is pretty junky quality, but back then was, reasonable quality and all that my computer could handle for editing. But it'll be great when we can upscale all that to HD. I'm hoping.
I'm curious what that's gonna look like.
Hoping within the next 10 years that'll happen, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Anyway, Charlotte comes back from class, knowingly says, I wonder why my TV didn't come today. John knocks from the closet. Charlotte lets him out, and he comes out not tied up, but with a scarf over his face, which he takes off himself. He claims the robber came back and took the TV. Charlotte says, if there's a robber here, why didn't he take the computer? And why weren't you tied up? And John says, he must have trusted me to keep quiet. Well, Charlotte's very clever. She knows that this is not what really happened. And also mentions, why did I find this broken TV at the end of the driveway next to my garage?
I love that so much.
It's also nice, after we recently talked about James Crabb and we were laughing at all the intentionally serious moments that were ridiculous, now we laugh at the actual jokes that were intended to be funny.
Yeah. Look at us. Growth.
This was 8 years after the first James Crabb and the first time that we filmed together. Which is closer to those original films than we are now to it.
Man. Stuff just changes at a very rapid rate in that time.
I also thought John's excuse was pretty clever. He says the robber must have dropped the TV while fleeing.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte
Pretty
remarks, maybe it's one of those new TVs that come with the screens already bashed in, kind of like pre-ripped jeans. And John says, well, you have insurance, don't you? Charlotte says, I certainly do, puts out her hand and says, pay up. Which I think is fair, all in all.
Yeah, I think so.
Are ripped jeans still a thing, do you know?
They're probably coming back.
Oh, really?
You know? I feel like all of the 90s, early 2000s trends have made a comeback.
Well, except weren't the low-waisted pants really popular when we were in high school, middle school?
Oh, yeah. I do
and
remember
now
that as well.
high-waisted pants are popular. I had a student make fun of me for wearing low-waisted pants. And it's like, gosh, when I was your age, we made fun of people for wearing high-waisted pants.
Like that. It's like, you're all wearing mom jeans. What's going on?
You look like you're from the 1940s.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
and the socks, too. The high socks are coming back.
I have heard that ankle socks are really passé now. Oh, man.
Well, fashions don't stand the test of time, but do you think this episode does?
I think it does. I think this is still a really pretty solid episode as far as the setup and the deliveries and stuff. I think it's a solid one. And it's a fun plot.
Yeah.
Sort of the best of the John and Charlotte interaction, and yeah.
What we should have done,
the mischievousness.
Since this is the 25th anniversary year, I should have had a How Does That Make You Feel episode that kind of reenacted this.
Oh my gosh!
Where Carol or Carol or Chris broke something of the others and was trying to blame it on a robber, but
that would have been really funny.
Maybe I'm going to keep that in mind. Maybe we'll do that next season, even though it's a year late for the 25th anniversary. But
it's fine. It's close enough. That sounds fun.
Well, this has been Scene by Scene. Thanks for listening. Scene by Scene is produced by GK Music and Magic Voice Records.